Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Amir Guessoum and I'm a research scientist affiliated with the Pasteur Institute of Algeria. I am here to reflect upon my recent enrollment in the Pan-African Education and Research Initiatives Policy Advocacy and Policy Advocacy in Genomics and Genetics course. I have fundamentally found this course to be particularly enriching and illuminating I have sought out and benefited greatly from this course. I have for very long been a true recognizer of the fact that policy is indeed too far removed from that of the day-to-day laboratorial experience and too far removed from the realities of day-to-day scientific discovery. However, recent enrollment in this course has been truly enriching in communicating this idea that advocacy is not indeed to be distinct and to be separated from scientific discovery. Rather, policy advocacy is rather a downstream consequence of this. I have come as a consequence to recognize that scientists themselves are indispensable advocates for the institution of ethical and equitable research. I must admit that advocacy through this course has now taken on a broader definition in my mind to expand beyond that of the narrowest scope with which I used to view policy advocacy, but rather a more expanded definition in my mind by which evidence-based and evidence-driven efforts are now to manifest and govern scientific complexities and scientific realities, and are going to drive and solve ethical imperatives and address societal needs. One thing I have particularly appreciated in this course is the focus on global genetic policies, which although the course has made it clear to demonstrate how uneven and how diverse these research and administrative ecosystems really are, and no matter how they differ in terms of their historical, societal and cultural influences, they all tend to converge on this issue that they grapple all with the same ethical imperatives, the same ethical dilemmas, and that is to whether or not to prioritize privacy versus progress, prioritize innovation versus ethics, and whether or not to prioritize the notion of nationalistic and continental sovereignty versus that of global collaboration. One of the main issues that have deeply resonated with me is the notion of public engagement and the notion of the sustained focus on ethical considerations. I do recognize that genetics is at the frontier of science, but also at the cutting edge of ethical uncertainty. Thus, questions must be placed on scientists, because I do recognize now that the scientists themselves are not only the premier advocates, but also the people on whom the most profound accountability and responsibility rests, for they are the premier contributors to science, and those of whom are most actively relied upon in the shaping of ethical regulatory frameworks and the passing of laws and that govern genetic science. I take forward all of these notions, and I would like to very much thank the Pan-African in Genetics, the Pan-African Education and Genetics Research Initiative for their profound impact, and I look forward to collaborating with them very, very shortly. Should they require anything further of me, I will always be here to help anyone in need, and I look forward to collaborating with you again soon. Thank you very much for this illuminating experience, and I extend my profound respect and deepest gratitude for this enriching experience to all of the organizers and all of the teaching assistants who have been with us throughout this process. Thank you very much.